Howdy everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a decorative bamboo ladder. Let me show you what the supplies are going to be and we'll get to crafting. Alright, so the first items you're going to need are going to be these little bamboo torches. I was actually inspired to create a decorative ladder, and so I grabbed these torches because I felt this bamboo that was on here was perfect. Now I got these from the Dollar Tree, so they were only $1, so I'm going to end up cutting off the torch, or I may leave it on. You're going to make that decision if you want to put it outdoors and you want it to be a garden decorative torch ladder, or if you just want it to be a decorative garden ladder and you want, or if you want to put it inside. Of course you're going to want to cut this off. Okay, so I've got two of them here, and then I have a third one, so you're going to need three. The third one you're going to cut off three identical size pieces from it. Okay, you could cut four if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to have 4 steps on your ladder. Okay, and that all depends on what you're going to put on your ladder, how it's going to hang, so that all depends on the spacing. Okay, I cut mine in 3 because actually my husband wanted this little torch to stay intact, so we left it like that. Okay, so you're going to need that, and to put it together we're going to need some twine or some rope. So I've got this one. I actually have this left over from some twine that I got from Hobby Lobby. I've got some left over that I got from the Dollar Tree. So you can find some there. At Hobby Lobby they also have a thicker kind of nautical rope. You could also use that one as well. To decorate it from the Dollar Tree, I grabbed these little terracotta pots. It's a little 3-pack. They're about 2 or 3 inch diameter here in the opening. So that all just depends on the size and the spacing of your little ladder rungs on what you can use to decorate it. Okay, so I've got these. I've got 6 of them all together. And to put something in them, I've got some scraps of little flowers from some bushes. You can grab some from the Dollar Tree, or if you have some leftover stems from anything else, you can use your little scraps. And then of course we'll need some styrofoam to cut up to put into our little pots so that our flowers will attach to that. And any kind of moss that you can use to cover the top of the styrofoam. Or if you want to do this outdoors, you can actually use a live plant. I've got little succulents here, as you can see. So I'm going to use that as well. This has plenty of soil in there if I wanted to separate that in there. Or, of course, you'll need some potting soil just for that. Okay, so we're going to be using our glue gun. So I've got my glue gun and plenty of glue sticks here. I've got my wire cutters just in case I need them. I always keep those handy to my side, as well as my scissors. And I'm going to be using a little craft knife to cut into my styrofoam. Now, your styrofoam can be any little scrap. This little package happens to be from the Dollar Tree, so I've got that. I keep looking at this little package because I feel like it's got a crack, but I think it's just a little paper that's folded up. Yep, okay. Alright everyone, let's get to crafting. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start by gluing these ladder steps here onto our, or rungs, onto our 2 little torches here. So this is going to decide how wide apart these are going to be. Like so, and I'm probably going to put these at every joint. So I've got 3, but I want there to be plenty of space up here for when I do light these up, nothing will be close by. But I also want enough on the bottom also to be able to put this into the ground or put it into a large pot. But then when I do have this bottom rung here, I do want there to be some space for something to hang. Now, you could do these a little bit higher up here, and use these top ones, and then use a 4th one up here if you decide to cut the extra bit and you want 4 rungs. You could do that, or just have them up here. Now I'm looking at this and I want lots of space on the bottom because I want enough of this to stick it to the ground because it's very windy outside and I don't want this to get knocked over. And then I also want space here so I can hang something here and here. And I feel like there's enough room up here where the torch is far enough because I'm not going to have anything here. It's pretty much going to be hanging right down on here. Now, if you do not want these 4 outdoors, then cut off the torch. I mean, you're going to use it inside, cut off the torches, okay? So it'll basically just kind of use your imagination. The top of your ladder will look something like that, but you'll have to move it up just a little bit so you have a little bit of a little sides here. Okay? All right, so I'm actually gonna save this because I'm only going to use 3 rungs. So now I want to hot glue them to this area where the joints are going to be. Now, if you want to use some wood glue or some E6000 glue, you can go ahead and use that. If you want to figure out a way to maybe screw them on there, nail them on there, if you wanted to put a screw here, it's not going to go into anything because the bamboo is hollow, so just keep that in mind. But you could use the screw to then put some glue here, so when you insert it in there, the screw that's sticking out will slide into the glue and glue itself onto there. So that gives you a little bit extra stabilization of these little rungs. But I'm going to be using twine to also help me tie it onto here and then glue the twine as I wrap it around and keep it all stable. So the first step I want to do is glue them on. Now they are let me put this one here. Now, if you feel like here we go, let me just place these right. This one here feels a little bit smaller, so I'm actually going to take this bigger one because the spacing somehow seems to be bigger at the top. There we go, like that. Yeah, there seems to be quite a bit of spacing. Maybe that middle one is keeping it from... Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Let me go ahead and attach the top one first. So I'm just going to get my glue gun a little closer. This one's got a solid bit there, so I'm just going to put lots of glue there. And then I'm going to hold it there, and I got my little fan here going. You might hear that. I'm going to direct it straight at it so it helps the glue dry. Get this out of the way. Once it's a little stable, then I can go ahead and do the other end. So put lots of glue. Now remember, some of this is probably going to be hollow, so make sure the edges have some glue to work with. There we go. Okay, now I can do the second rung. And I've got plenty of glue. I'm just twirling it around to get the glue all the way around the edge of that bamboo. And this one does not reach all the way across, so I'm just going to put plenty of glue and build it up because I'm going to cover it up with a rope anyway. So I'm going to build up some glue on each of these ends and let that dry on here. Build up some glue on it, and then I'll do the other side and let that dry till I build up quite a bit so that it reaches, and then I'll glue it to the bamboo, and then I'll use the rope to hide all of that. So I'll be back once I get all that done. Okay, so I'm back, and I was thinking of something like maybe there was something that I could put in here, between here, that I could glue in there so that they could actually be touching and not be a buildup of glue. And I decided to use my pieces of styrofoam that I had here. So I sliced off a bit, and I'm going to slice off that much, and then like a little squares like that, and then I could round them off a little bit, just round off the little corners. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is all going to get hidden away with the rope. So I'm actually going to do the build-up That glue sticks on there really well. This was just a little loosey bit that was on there. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue, stick that on there. I think that'll build up. At least one side, it does really well. I only need to do one side, but if I needed to do both, I would add enough for both. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, so it's not too bulky. And then I'm going to put glue around the styrofoam because I did squish it down a little bit. Just around it, just to keep it in that width. Just a little bit, and making sure it's actually attached to the bamboo. Okay, so now I'm going to move it over and glue it to the bamboo over here. I'm just putting this down because I put lots of glue on the outside of it. Okay, now on this other side, just glue it down just like I did the other rungs. Well, this side is still wet so that you can move it around a little bit. Okay. All right. That's it. Now we can go ahead and let it dry really well before we come and add our rope. All right, I've gone ahead and I wrapped up these two parts with the rope only because I wanted to see how I should do this correctly so that it's nice and firm and it'll stay on there. It still needs a little bit of drying. I can feel it a little wet here in some spots where the glue is. But I'm going to go ahead and work on these two, or at least one of them, so that you can see how I wrapped it. And then I am going to do these two off camera, and then I'll come back to the next step. So let's see, which one was my back? This kind of sort of started being my back, I believe. So I'm going to start right here. All I did was put some glue down to get my rope started on there. Get that end on there. Now if you have a smaller bit of, a little ball of twine, it'll be easier to work with, and like a skein, like a yarn skein, because you have to wrap it around. And I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times, and then I'm going to go across this way, come back, and then I'll go across this way. And each time I do, I'm going to put a little bit of glue and then work my way down a little bit and then back up just to give it a nice thick grab here. And I did 3 times, crisscross 3 times this way also. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. On this third one, go down under it and then over on the outside like that. Little glue right there where it's going to crisscross. Bring it around under, and this time over and across around the outside, and then bring it around again, and we're going to put some glue right there where it crisscrossed over the other one. Push it down and do a little bit more glue so I could run it over again. Okay, and then I'm going to go across and under. Put some glue this way now. You could crisscross it however you want, however many turns you want to give it. This is just what I did. Okay, now I like to go one more time. Make sure that rope gets stuck on there with plenty of glue. I'm going to go one more time for a third pass on each side. Once on this side and once on this other side. Okay, so now that I've got it crisscrossing this way and this way 3 times and a bit here, I'm going to start down here at the bottom, work my way up, just wrapping it around to create a nice thick wrap around like these. Okay, this one was a little bit thicker because that's the one that had the styrofoam, and I really wanted to put plenty of rope there. Okay, a little bit of glue. Bottom edge. Let's wrap this up a little bit because it's getting too unrolled. And then start overlapping it. There's still some glue there, so I'm just using that same glue. There's still some glue there also. And this is just to kind of make it look pretty. All that wrapping, hide all that rope going back and forth. And this is actually my back, so I'm going to turn it over so now I can be looking at the front of it. It doesn't really matter because you can't really tell anymore where I started the rope. But if you're going to end it, you know, the little raw edge where you cut it and you end, you might want to end it on the same side and not on all of them, so you kind of create, you know, your sort of your back side. More glue. Okay, I think one more time. And then I'm going to turn it around and end it at the back. Right there. Some glue in there. And get that right in there. Okay. There we go. That's what it looks like at the back. And what would be the front. Okay. So I'm just going to do the other 3. And I'll be back so that we can go ahead and do our next step. Alright everyone, as you can see, I have finished putting all of the rope around the joints here, and everything is now dry and, you know, it's ready to go. So what I want to add are these little pots, and I've added little pot. I've chosen these small ones because they don't weigh very much. Now I've already gone ahead and put a piece of rope on one side. I wasn't thinking and recording, so I had that one little piece of rope and I started putting glue on this side when I realized, oh, I'm not recording. So anyway, this is going to be the next step, is where we put some little handle on our little pots. What you could do is you could cut your strings to where, let's move this a little bit, to where you know you want your pots to hang at a certain length, and then you, of course, you want them to maybe go, let me move my glue gun here. You maybe want it to go around and then get glued back here and then just hang like that. If you want to go ahead and do it that way, you can. The way that I'm going to do it is that I'm actually going to put 2 pieces of string, one on each side, and then bring them around and then knot them and hang them on here, so that if I ever want to remove the little pot for whatever reason, I can just untie it, unknot it, and untie it, and remove it and maybe hang something else in case it cracks. Or, you know, I need to change the flower, and it would be make it a lot easier if I was able to remove the plant or whatever I decide to put in here, in case, you know, the plant dies for whatever reason and you need to replace it. And that is if you're using real plants, of course, and you don't have to be doing the changing over while it's hanging on here, potentially pulling on this too much. This is nice and firm now on here. That's all you need to do, is just make sure that this is all glued on and nice and firm, So like I said, if you wanted to use an E6000 glue, you can go ahead and do that. Use a combination of both, because the hot glue will dry quicker, and of course it'll hold it in place for you while maybe you're knotting it, and then you can just leave it there 24 hours and let the E6000 dry completely. I think the minimum is 8 hours on that. But anyway, this next step, I decided that, like I said, I'm going to put 2 little strings, and I'm just going to make them long enough so that I can then kind of like maybe make a little bow or just a little knot up here. So I'm just putting some glue on each side here, on opposite sides, and then putting the little string on the end, on the rim of the little pot. Now you're probably wondering, well, why are you putting it on the outside? And you know, that's going to show. You could glue it on the inside. You could go all the way down and glue it all the way in there. So make sure you have a nice long stable piece in there to hold it. But I'm doing it this way because I'm going to put some more rope around the outside, and I've got all these other little pots already done like that. Glue. See that? I've already put rope on the edge of it, and that will also give this a little more stability by holding this little ropes in place, because I put lots of glue each time I passed over them. So basically what I did is just take the end of your rope, and I'm using this thinner one from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm using the thicker one. You could use whichever you want. Of course, you could use the same thin rope to wrap around each pot, but I didn't have very much of it left, so, which is what I wanted to do, but I didn't have much of it left, so I went ahead and I'm going with this thicker one to go around and the little thinner one to do the little handles. So just wherever you want on the bottom of the edge of the brim on the pot, add a little bit of glue, put down the end of your rope. Oops, if I can grab it, there we go, right there. And then I'm just going to put glue as I go on the bottom, glue down a section, keep turning it, adding more glue, going over that little rope. Make sure I'm grabbing on. Now once I get to where I'm meeting this other one, I'm going to get right on it, but then I'm going to go over it just a little bit to start creating a second row. Now on my second row, I'm not making sure I put glue all the way around. I'm just putting glue here and there. I'm definitely going to put it where it crosses over on these little rope handles that I created, whether it's one piece all the way around or 2 pieces like this. And then ever so often I'll put some glue just to keep it in place. But definitely, like I said, when you go over the handle or the end of the handle piece, put some glue, because that's an additional step. I can't even say the word stabilization. There we go. My God, where is my English? I mean, that is the language I speak. Okay. And keep going till you are either finished filling up that whole little area on the brim, or however many times you want to go. I've gone around to make like 4 lines. So that's all I'm going to do on this one as well. It doesn't go all the way to the edge on some little spots here and there on some of them. I don't care. I like the way that it looks, you know, like really rustic, you know, done, the work, because I'm using this bamboo that's not, you know, something like perfect. There's some little cracks here and there, so, you know, this doesn't have to be perfect. And I think it makes it look more interesting. Okay, but that's just my preference. You do what you want. If you want to make this really pretty and you want to put it inside, use some pretty decorative ribbons instead of using a little rope. Okay, I'm not going to have too much more room here. This is where I'm going to end it. So I'm just going to cut it right there. Okay, and these pots are ready. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put styrofoam in 3 of them, and the other 3 I'm going to reserve because I'm going to put this little plant. I'm going to get little bits of it. There's separate little plants in there, so I'm going to get little bits of it in the same soil that it comes in. I'm going to put them in these other 3. But these 3, I'm going to put some little artificial flowers, and only because I want to add some color to my little ladder, because I only got 1. Now you can get some succulents, get some small ones, and of course some little light pots. Don't make them too heavy, okay? I wouldn't put like something like a real bigger pot on here that's heavier. You want to do light things. And now instead of just hanging this, you could hang maybe a little wind chime on them, a little short one, or maybe even hang, you know, your water measuring, you know, those little long pieces that measure like inches of water, how much rain it felt. It could be cute for something like that, even a thermostat to put outside. It'd be cute to give for Father's Day if your dad, or the dad that you're doing this likes to garden a lot and he likes to put lots of decorative things outside. That'd be cute for him for Father's Day. And I also think it's cute for Mom's Day. But just make it for yourself. Okay, so I'm just going to cut some little pieces of styrofoam. Just little pieces that will go into my pots here. Let's see. Cut it in half. I'm going to put some glue around the edge like that. Just, you know, just kind of, it doesn't have to be pretty. Put these in there and just push them in as far as they will go. And they'll grab onto whatever glue they can. That's why I'm putting the glue all the way around. That way I can make sure that it's catching at some point somewhere. Okay. Okay, so that's a... And let me go ahead and do one more. Cut off this little piece. I'm going to put this away. Okay. One more here. Make sure the little rope doesn't go in there with it. There we go. So now I've got them all ready with styrofoam. And then I've just got some little flowers. I'm going to move my glue gun. Okay. Use my wire cutters for this. And I'm just going to trim off some pieces that I don't think I'm going to use. So where's my glue gun? And then just glue that one so it doesn't fall out. Okay, so I'm just going to take this one, slide it in. I think it needs to be all the way in. There we go. And then this one with a little bit of flowers on it. It looks really cute. Now just keep in mind you got your little strings here, so you want to make sure you turn your little flowers to face the front. So you got your strings on each side, and then you've got a front here where the little flowers are facing. And then you can take any moss, or this, it's called sizzle, or sisal. Just take a little piece of this, or moss, and use that to cover up the styrofoam. And I'm just going to tuck it into the little crevices there. Tuck crevices, and then wrap it around. Oops, this one's coming out. Maybe a little dot of glue here and there so it'll hold it in there. And I'm just going to wrap it around. And I'm going to put a dot of glue back here. Make sure it all sticks on there. I'm just going to trim off these little ends here. And tuck the other ones into the little pot. Yeah, there we go. Fix my little flower. That's cute. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of glue under this one, just so that it sticks down and not my finger. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim some of those little bits of this sisal, this moss, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to trim a little bit of it off so it doesn't look so hairy and messy. And that's it. Okay, so now I want to decorate these other two with some little flowers, and then I'm going to plant, I've got these extra little flowers here, and then I'm going to plant this one into these other three. These were just a tiny little bit bigger than that. It's okay. So that's where I'm going to put the plants on this one. And I will be back once all of this is put together so that I can put that on the ladder, and that'll be a complete project. Alright, I have finished potting the other little plants and putting little artificial ones into the other little pots. And this is my leftover little plant, and I think I know where I want this one to go outside. So I'm going to put that over here. Hopefully not knock it over. Now I need to decide where I want to hang each of my little pots. I'm pretty sure that I want this one up here. So I'm going to have to lay it down. Some of the dirt may fall out, but I'll just pick it up and clean it up. Okay. And then decide how far down I want it to hang. Now you could stick this, if you have a pot with an arrangement already in it, and you're working on this inside, go ahead and stick it into your pot, and then hang all of your little decorations on here, your little pots or whatever else you decide to hang. That way you'll know exactly how it's going to hang and if it's, you know, going to be level, etc. But it's okay. The little bow here or little knot that I create up here does not have to be up here. It could be on the side. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I want something there. I'm just going to put a little bow in it for now. Let's see. I think I want this one here. I may not use them all. I'm going to make a knot. I think a little knot would be better. Yes. And then another one of these. That one's not going to hang as low. I'll put it a little higher. I'm going to make a knot as well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to trim that off. They look cute as little bows, but I feel like that'll come off a lot easier. Say a bird comes along and he's trying to take the end of that little string on the bow and you might pull on it. You'll pull off your little plant. I'm going to put this one over here. You don't have to do it the way I am, of course. And you obviously don't have to use all the pots. You could do it all artificial, like I said, if you're going to hang it inside. But if you want little succulents or little house plants in there, you can certainly do this with live plants. You would just not have the torches on there. Okay, so now I'm just going to alternate and hang this one here. I'm actually going to hang it a little bit lower because I got plenty of room to stick it to the ground. I'm actually going to stick it in a pot, I think. I planted a hydrangea outside, so I think I'm going to put it in that pot for now. My husband wants to be able to light up the little torches, so we'll see. We'll see where it actually ends up going because I don't think I want it under my pergola lit up. Okay. Okay, and the hydrangea, I have it in a pot under the pergola. Okay, so there we go. That looks really cute. I'm going to pick this up so that you can see it. All right, everyone, here we go. The completed project. I'm just going to pan it up and down. Can't pick it up too high, but that's the bottom that's going to go into the ground. And then the little pots that are hanging right off the rungs. As you can see, it's holding on really well. So there we go. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Leave a nice comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and please hit that little notification bell. That way you'll be notified if when my videos go up every Tuesday and every Friday. And once in a while I'll have a little vlog up for you, which you'll also be notified of that, of course. And share on your social medias. I hope you enjoyed this little project and that you feel like you can do this. It's very easy. It just takes a little while to put it all together and wait for all these little parts to dry to make sure everything is stable. But it is well worth it. I'm very satisfied with it, and I hope that you too will be satisfied with the project. And as always, enjoy.